All right, welcome back. It's been a minute. Let's do some stock market analysis and crypto, macro and technicals to see what's going on. What we're looking at here, we got the S&P 500, obviously making new highs, right? So I think we're going to be melting up higher into the end of the year. We got a couple red flags flashing here, which we will go over. Just want to make sure we got everybody in. You get your questions in right off the bat, but we will be doing some technical analysis. We're looking at the weekly chart right now. We'll be looking at some RSI stuff. Oh, I got some bearish divergence. We'll see how things play out. So let's start with, first off, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, let's go to the daily. Let's see what we're looking at in the short term. All right, so in the short term, we've had the S&P 500 just trending higher, making new highs, putting in higher lows, consistently putting in higher lows, right? So that was a nice little breakout. We had a couple resistance levels, then we broke out. So I think we might be going to, let's do some Fibonacci here. We might be moving to, I'm going to say we're going to move to about 625. What are we at? 608, 625. And in the short term, let's go to the 30-minute chart so we can see a little bit of support. In the short term, it looks like we're going to be pulling into that 605 area. So that's my first level. 605 is what I'm looking at. 605-ish. You never know. Somewhere around here, you got some capitulation. We could close this gap down here at 604. This little gap up. We had a lot of strength. But I think it's just a stair stepper. We're looking at a stair stepper. Step up, step down, step up, step down, right? That's what we're looking at right now. Go ahead and jump onto the YouTube stream. Link in the description if you want to see the full screen. I can't show it on TikTok. It's a vertical. So you can jump on there. But we're going to be doing market analysis, right? So a lot of people are getting bearish. Let's look at the red flags. Let's go over the red flags first. Number one, okay? And we'll go over some of the swing trades I'm looking at right now also. So we're going to get there. But number one, we have the VIX, okay? Always looking at the VIX. We have the VIX on the daily chart. We're looking at the daily chart here in very bullish territory, okay? For the stock market, meaning we're in a upward trend. I don't think this trend is going to slow down until January, right? And we're going to talk about that. Why is that? Well, you have some trade policy, immigration policy risks, which the market doesn't give a damn about at the moment. But when we get towards, how are these trade policies going to actually work out, then we'll actually see some volatility probably pick up. In the most immediate term, okay, and this is a risk because once the VIX gets so low, you're going to get a pop. And I think we get that correction, a small correction, nothing huge, a small little correction, possibly, maybe you don't even call it a correction. Going into the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, that's December 18th. Tomorrow is the employment report. I don't see anything that signals a red flag yet. I mean, we don't see anything. The labor market is strong, right? The ISMs came in pretty strong. So the economy is still, the macro is still strong. It's a good backdrop for the stocks to go higher. So all I'm looking for is a small retracement in the VIX. And I'd actually want to get long on that, right? I'd actually want to get long on that because there is no systemic issues yet. But we are getting close. We are getting close. I'm going to show you the chart where usually we get a bigger correction. I don't know when that comes. I'm waiting for the inflation consensus to come out. Right now, there is no consensus on inflation. When it does come out, we might see the market correct a little bit. But the exposure index is something I want to look at here. Okay. Let's, can we zoom in here? All right. So I'm going to move you guys over to the exposure index for a second. First off, put to call ratio. Okay, we've got to turn this into a line chart. Put to call ratio is, oh, that's way too thin. Can't even see it. I guess you guys can see it on YouTube, huh? My screen's a little dim. So the put to call ratio is basically how many puts and calls are inside of the market. Right now, you see puts are down, right? This downtrend is there's a lot more calls coming into the market. Obviously, once you get to that lower bound area, right? Once you get down here, there's going to be a momentum kickback at some point. Let's turn that white. You're going to get a momentum kickback on the put to call. People are going to start piling into the puts. We don't know what the catalyst is to get the puts, to get more put buying for people to sell their calls. We don't have the catalyst yet. Maybe it's inflation next week. Maybe it's the Fed. We don't know. But put to call ratio is coming into reversal territory, right? Maybe we got 3 more weeks. We don't really know. Third one is, so those are two big red. They're not huge red flags. Those are two red flags at the moment. Right now, stocks, if you're looking at the average stock, okay, above the, this is market breadth or participation, we have markets trending higher. More stocks are moving above their 50-day moving average. The low was back here in November, right? Basically after the election, and stocks are moving above their 50-day moving average. More and more stocks are participating in the rally. So that put to call ratio, let's take a look at that really quick. I'm going to switch the screen over here on YouTube. And we always get a correction. You got to pay attention to this. We always get a correction when this gets to these are fund. This is a fund manager survey. Once you get to 100%, this line, you can't really see it. Once you get to 100% invested, fund managers usually start to take something off, right? They're overexposed. They're too long, and they start to take stuff off. If you go back in the history, you're going to see a correction every single time from 2 to 3% up to 10%. I don't think we see 10%. That's not in the cards yet, but we are looking at about a 2% correction, right? We're almost there. We're almost fully invested. We're at 98. Once you hit 100, you're in the zone. You're in the correction zone. Once you hit 100, you're in that correction zone. So maybe if we get a little frothy to the upside, we might get that correction. So let's do some technicals on the S&P, kind of see where we're at. Switch back the screen. And first, we'll start with the fibs. We'll start with the Fibonacci really quick and just see where there might be some levels. All right, let's go to this chart. Let's go to the daily. We're going to be on the daily chart. Number one, momentum is starting to slow down. You can see the RSI. I like to use RSI. Okay, overcooled, overheating, and we're at the overheating zone for the RSI. But going into the year end, you usually have a lot of strength. It's seasonality, and I think with all the new ordering, manufacturing is starting to recover. I think the S&P can really just heat up and go overbought to a high degree, sort of like it did back here in the summer, right? In the summertime, we went overheated. I think we can definitely go overheated, and I'll give you another example. Okay, so yes, it's not time to short, but I'll give you another example. The S&P can melt up because there's a lot of other stocks, not just big tech. The Magnificent Seven have been slowed down. Now they're starting to speed up. Microsoft is breaking out. Apple is breaking out. Let's take a look. MSFT. Okay, Microsoft's starting to break out a little bit, right, out of this flag. Out of this, you could actually call this a cup and handle. You can call it a cup and handle, wedge pattern, whatever you want to call it. But Microsoft's a big part of the index that's breaking out. Okay, we got Apple breaking out also. So I think S&P can definitely get a little overheated to about 625. We're going to look at that fib right now. Back to the S&P. Nvidia looks good too. It's not too bad. Nvidia looks pretty bad, or looks pretty good. So let's draw a fib and see where the possible targets are. Okay. So from the last high, I always like to look at the last high that we had and bring it down to the most recent low. And where I think the target is going to be somewhere between blue. I'm just going to call it colors. Colors are a lot more simple. I have the colors up here. It's the 1.618, okay, between blue and red. And that puts us around 630. Okay, that puts us somewhere around a 630 SPY at least, right? SPX is going to be a lot bigger, but I don't want to use those numbers, a little too complicated. So I think 630 somewhere at the beginning or end of the year. And I'm really putting a marker on when Trump gets inaugurated. I think that's going to be where we see a lot more volatility. That's when we get the bigger correction, because the market is already pricing in the good stuff, as we've seen, right? We have a lot of momentum, and it might price in some bad policy. We have a lot of things that can happen in between there and now. So that's what I'm looking at. We're going to look at Bitcoin too. Let's see what Bitcoin is showing us at the moment, because now that we got above 100K, I think Bitcoin can move to like 115. Okay, let's do the fib on here. So we're at the fib for Bitcoin. The only thing is crypto tends to rip a lot more. It's not the same type of asset, much higher volatility than the S&P. Okay, and you can see when Bitcoin gets overbought, it really starts to heat up. When it heats up, it really heats up. So we're looking at 115 maybe. Okay. But let's go over some of the macros. So we'll come back to this. We'll do a little more technicals. Maybe we get to 115. I'm thinking 115, 120, somewhere around there, into the end of the year at least, before we get a correction. And that correction is going to be nasty. When we do get the correction, it's going to be a 20% correction, more than likely. Okay. Um, so we just don't know. We'll go over some individuals in a second. Make sure we got no comments here first before we move on, right? So one of the things that's fueling the market to the end of the year is going to be interest rates. We had interest rates heat up a lot. Let's take this RSI off. We had interest rates, okay, heat up a lot. We got to 4.5%. Pricing in what? This was pricing in tariffs. We were pricing in tariffs. And now with Scott Bessent, the new Treasury Secretary, he's a little more bearish. He's not all about, tariffs, being crazy about it. Everybody's going to go to the extreme and say tariffs are going to destroy the economy. It depends how they implement them, right? You got to be strategic. So the market is telling us, forget what we think. The market is saying, okay, the risks of tariffs raising inflation, that risk is no longer as expected, right? As expected as it was. It's not as bad. Now, can it go back up? Sure. But right now we're at 4.25, and the Fed is getting ready to cut rates. We got to 4.19. So rates are easing. These are long-term rates. The Fed does not control these rates. These are market rates. As these market rates ease, and they're not going back to zero, right? For the longest time, interest rates were way down here. They were, averaging 3.25%. And let me just double click this. They were averaging 3.25%, but now we're at 4.25 today. So we're about 1% higher than usual. Who knows where that goes, but the trend is lower, right? The trend is lower. Maybe we come down to 4% as long as we get inflation starting to cool. So interest rates are coming down. That's constructive for the end of the year rally, the Santa Claus rally going into January, right? That's where I think we see a correction. And then we head right back up into May. They say sell in May, go away. And that's just because of tax cuts, liquidity, margin starts to come off, right? When I say come off, people unravel their margin to pay their taxes, right? Big institutions leveraging up to pay their taxes. We also have the dollar coming into resistance. And when the dollar makes a move lower, that's always a strong move for risk assets. So the dollar's starting to move lower. Finally, we're hitting that resistance, and you always get a momentum thrust in risk assets like Bitcoin when the dollar does come down. How about high beta, right? High beta, what does that even mean? No, this is not high beta. Where's the high beta plays at? High beta is, I got to go to the internals. These are stocks, mostly stocks that are going to outperform the S&P. And you're starting to see that right now. It's crypto, anything related to crypto, MicroStrategy. What else we have? Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Mara. There's a lot of crypto related names. Even Tesla's going up because Bitcoin's moving up. So high beta is strengthening. I would get cautious when high beta gets to the top of the range. Okay. Once high beta gets to the top of the range, then okay, we're probably going to get a rotation into safety, into defensives, or into different cyclicals. But right now it's crypto leading, and Bitcoin is a bellwether for that. We have software leading, which we're going to go over. Cybersecurity had earnings this week. We have communication services starting to lead, and consumer discretionary, because those are the things that you buy in the holiday season. So those four sectors are the hottest sectors right now. Okay. And we can even look at the Qs. This is the Qs versus the S&P, kind of sideways, nothing too, not too much strength there. Those are the Qs. Everything else is lower. Communications are picking up, and a lot of this is due to Meta. Okay, a lot of this is due to Meta starting to break out also. So we have Meta breaking out, and I'll show you where I think that is in the cycle right now. So we have Meta breaking out also. Okay. Now, another warning, the reason where we're not even close, I wanted to show you, I want to go over liquidity really quick. Okay. Let's go over liquidity. So liquidity is really running this market. The crypto bull run is going to probably peak once liquidity peaks out. Now, these are all major central banks. Let me switch this for you guys. Okay. These are all the major central banks injections of liquidity on a year over year basis or a momentum basis. You can see we're halfway through, right? We're halfway through, so we're not seeing any let up yet. Liquidity should continue to rise. Why? Because China's still weak, Europe is still weak, the Fed is cutting interest rates, which increases loans, borrowing, XYZ. So we have a long way to go before we get a real blow off top. This is just a correction that we're looking at, a small 2-3% correction, right? As long as there's no surprises, any crazy surprises. Um, Financial conditions are easing. This is almost the opposite, making it easier to borrow, to lend, right? More liquidity in the system. This is a good one. Margin debt. This is FINRA margin debt. So the amount of credit or margin, just like your broker, right? You use your broker on Robinhood, whatever you're using, margin debt increases with the market. And we're not even at all-time highs yet. Once we get to all-time highs, I'm going to be more cautious on the cycle. We're not there yet. All right, I'm going to be a little more cautious. What else we got? Okay, so we also have the amount of reserves in the banking system. Those are not moving up yet, but they're still at a high level. Even though the Fed is right now reducing QE, right? They're reducing credit in the system, but the banks have actually had a boost. Banks have a lot of liquidity. So I don't think we're going to see a recession, as I've been saying before. You also have the Treasury general account. All right, this is what Donald Trump is going to use to spend money. We're around 800 billion, and come January, when they start implementing tax cuts XYZ, this account should be drawn down, just like it did here, right? Just like it did here. This was the spending after the pandemic. You get more spending in 2021. Those are checks. So once this gets spent down, that money, that is liquidity coming into the economy, not really in the banking sector, but liquidity coming into the economy. What do? They raise debt, or they sell debt, treasuries, in order to spend that. So we have a lot of liquidity still coming into markets and coming into the economy. And then here we have the US money supply going straight up. We haven't had the money supply go up for a while. So we have lots of liquidity. This is why the market has a strong fundamental backdrop to continue to rally no matter what you see. When we get frothy, when we get too vertical, yeah, we're going to have corrections. But right now, we have a lot of supportive metrics, or a lot of economic indicators that are supportive. We also had GDP today, or yesterday. We had GDP, and GDP, right, from the Fed, Atlanta Fed GDP, is looking strong for the fourth quarter. That's actually in the macro newsletter. I think I have it right here. No, this is different. And we sent that out. But either way, manufacturing is starting to bump up. Now, this is part of the cycle. This is the ISM, right? Markets strengthen, corporations strengthen, borrowing strengthens as the ISM turns up, and the ISM is starting to bottom here. Hopefully it bottoms. This is manufacturing in goods. Well, we're heading into the end of the year where people spend more money. UPS is backed up, right? It's peak season for goods production. And that's another reason we see another rally, right? Lots of reasons the Santa Claus rally continues to go higher. And you got to watch this exposure index to make sure, we're not super overheated. We're probably going to get a small correction, but I don't think it's going to be, 10%. It might just kick back a little bit and then go right back in there because there's a lot of good stuff. Now, if there's some negative trade policy, if China starts to retaliate, then you're going to see this unravel, and we'll probably be looking at a bigger correction. Also, are bulls really that strong? This is the AAII, what is it? The Bank of America investor sentiment survey. And it looks like bears are actually picking up. People are getting more bearish, which is ironically bullish. Okay. The more bears there are, the more bullish. We get bearish. Well, when the bears are bearish, that's when you want to get bullish. When the bears are bullish, it's just the opposite, but that's too confusing right now. Just know that there's more bears coming into the market. So we're gonna get that correction at some point. Um, and the economic calendar, we can go through that, but just really quickly, the biggest amount of data. We had ISM come in pretty strong. I sent out the newsletter if you guys want to see that. We got inflation though. We got these are our biggest indicators right now is going to be the ISM. Let me zoom out. That's a little too far. ISM services came in weaker than last month, but that's fine because we're coming from a strong level, right? This is the service part of the economy coming in at the strongest levels in 2 years. Okay, so we had a strong impulse over the last 2 years, and we just cooled down. It's not a negative thing. We just cooled down a little bit, so that's still positive. And then earlier in the month, as we just talked about, ISM manufacturing starting to pick up, very bullish. Also, new orders. So we'll be looking at new non-farm payrolls. Remember, last month this is going to be an easy beat for payrolls. Last month they were at 12. Okay, last month they were at 12, and the market's really concerned. You saw us correct at the end of the day, really concerned with payrolls because I don't think they go any lower anytime soon because it is holiday season. But when you're looking at next year, the market's going to be, keeping track of this. The Fed's probably going to cut rates because if you do a mass deportation, right? And I like the Trump administration for the economy, but I don't think mass deportations are going to help with the labor force. So we got to keep the market's going to really be focused on non-farm payrolls, right? Economists say the same thing on both sides. I mean, Scott Bessent himself, the guy who Trump appointed, said, "Hey, we can't," on a podcast that we're not going to do that exactly. We're going to see how things play out. Unemployment, I don't think it really moves. Not too worried about unemployment. Who knows if how real those numbers actually are. But core inflation is what I'm waiting for to see the consensus on core inflation. We don't know yet. This is going to rock the market if we get this continue to accelerate. Not rock the market as in we're going to correct tremendously. It just means the economy is stronger. We're stuck at 3.5. I'm sorry, we're stuck at 3.3. When it comes to core inflation, we're stuck at 3.3. We're sticky, but that's not negative for stocks, right? That's not really negative. It's only negative if it really starts to accelerate above 4%. We still have rates above that, all right? Inflation, if you add in oil, and oil's been saving us, is at 2.6. So we're almost at Fed target. If you're looking at inflation, the Fed's target is 2%, 2.5. Some people believe, hey, they're going to be stuck at 3, but we're at 2.6% at the moment. All right. I would say we're in trouble if we get to 3. I don't see that because oil prices are suppressed at the moment. We're at like $69 a barrel, right? So gas is not really going up in that sense. Retail sales are going to be huge also. But I think the economy is going to be okay, especially in the holiday season. It's usually the strongest. So we'll see what the Fed says December 18th. That's going to be huge also. All right. Now let's go ahead and shift over to actual. So the point here was basically, look, interest rates are stable, supporting markets. Liquidity is stable. Growth is stable. Nothing is extravagant, but growth is stable. Inflation is bottoming out. It's not accelerating, but it is bottoming out. And positioning is getting a little heavy, right? Positioning is getting a little heavy. We see it right here. That just means you might have a tiny correction, but it might be like the 90s. You have small corrections, you continue higher. So everything looks strong, right? Everything looks strong enough, right? And keep in mind, the Fed is cutting rates. Now let's get back to the market and go over some of those picks and those year-end rally picks going into January, March. Okay, let's go into that. Any questions? Let me know, or comments that I can address about the macro in the short term. I don't see anything yet. I think we're gonna go ahead. Palantir has been cooking. What up, Canadian? Yeah, Palantir's cooking. I told you guys way back, Palantir will cook at this point. Now, if you want to go to my profile and subscribe, I have some long-term stuff you can look at here. Okay, long-term compounders. And this is just what I'm looking at when prices are good. It's real simple. When prices are good and waiting for better prices. Palantir right now, we're looking at 50. I'll show you guys on YouTube real quick. All right. So Palantir I have down here, it's up way too much. Okay. It's going to correct at some point, even though software is leading and it is part of the software basket. I want to see it get in the low 50s before, you compound that. Not a trade necessarily, but yeah, you could trade it too. But I think you need to get in the low 50s before you make that long term buy, right? And it'll come down. It's a very volatile stock. It'll come down, and that is going to be in the newsletter. That's free right now in the link in the bio. It should be in there. You just go to my profile, and you should be able to find that newsletter. All right, let's get back to the actual technicals now. All right, so let's go over a couple picks. These are the in-play stocks that I have right now. We're going to start with, before let me check the comments, nothing there. Okay. So we'll start with Celsius. All right. We did a stream a couple weeks ago before Thanksgiving and said, look, Celsius looks like it's bottoming out. And I'm not just looking at, now this is a nasty uptrend. We definitely have to hold the, 26th level. But I want you to look at this. Okay. The RSI, this thing is cooling ridiculous amounts of cooling. It only needs one good catalyst before it starts to rocket back up, right? Before it has that rebound. And maybe you don't get it, maybe you slip, but your support is 2550. And so I think, I like Celsius for a play going into really February, March, maybe even April, maybe even May. I like that trade. Nothing short term, nothing in the next month. I'm talking bigger, longer term swing trades, because Celsius is definitely this is the weekly chart, is definitely showing that it's trying to bottom out. If we, let's zoom in a little bit to the daily, see if we got a bottoming pattern here. And we'll really know when this RSI gets above the midpoint. Once we get above the midpoint, boom, that's it. You're going to, it's the momentum starts to pick up. But we do have a bottoming pattern start to form. Get my other tool. Okay, and this might be the last one, but you got the reverse head and shoulders. Let's say this is the head. You might have a little more consolidation before we form another head. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the bottom. We'll see. But you're going to have one more dip, right? And this might be it before you start to take off. We need to break this downtrend. I really want to pull it from here. So we really got to get out of this downtrend also. It's going to be hard to see, but there it is. YouTube, if you want to see the full chart for Celsius, right? So this is Celsius. And yeah, they we'll see what happens. I mean, we're heading into the holiday seasons. If not, I would say, nah, I'm not interested. But I think people are going to need a lot of caffeine. Same thing with Starbucks. Except for Starbucks is a little overcooked at the moment. I think Starbucks is a little overcooked with the new CEO. They had a nice little impulse to the upside. I would say it needs more time to consolidate before getting long. All right, so next one, that's we got Celsius. Next, we got a retailer, Abercrombie and Fitch, right? This is a monster pattern right here, and this might break to the downside. I really don't know. It's going to come down to, we just had earnings, right? Okay, weekly chart. So we just had earnings. Did they already? Dang, I missed the earnings then. I guess I missed it. Nice surprise to the upside. I think this is just a pattern at this point. This is a strong wedge pattern starting to squeeze, right? Like a rubber band. And once you start to see the volume come in, the momentum, we are supporting that midpoint on the RSI. So it's, I'm just watching it. We'll see how it actually plays out, but this is a matter of time. Put on those Bollinger Bands, you'll probably see it. So I'm just watching, the price action, trying to hold higher lows. As long as you're getting these lows higher than the previous lows, you're starting to see momentum pick up. All right, so that's Abercrombie and Fitch. You have Adobe here. And this watch list that we're showing immediately, this is the setup. These are setting up. These are just setting up. Nice upside pattern, right? It's been trending up. So these are setting up. You can see the RSI is just shooting straight up. So buying pressure is coming into Adobe. I like Adobe. I don't think it's ready to pop yet. I want to see a little more consolidation. AMD is pissing everybody off, I know. Pissing me off for sure. So we have AMD here. AMD's tricky, right? AMD's tricky. It doesn't always correlate to the market. If we get NVIDIA, and I'll say this right now, if we get NVIDIA breakout, which I see more upside in AMD than NVIDIA, if we have Nvidia start to break out, which Nvidia doesn't look bad either. It definitely doesn't look bad. I don't know. 130 was nice, but once you get Nvidia breakout, you need AMD to really lift. If it doesn't lift, okay, and here's where I have it in this little range right here. If it doesn't lift on an Nvidia breakout, then it's probably going to retest the bottom of this trend, somewhere like 125-ish, which, hey, it'll be better prices, but don't get stuck holding the bag, right? That's all I'll say about that. Microsoft broke out. It's headed to all-time highs. Yeah, I saw that. Can't even breathe in here. Wait, all-time high. Oh, it's headed to all-time highs. Okay. Yeah, Microsoft looks good also. Let me see. Microsoft looks pretty good. Finally starting to lift. And Microsoft is breaking from a long consolidation. I was waiting for this break. I gave up on the trade right after earnings, but it's been at this level since January, February. So that's a lot of consolidation. And this is a telltale bellwether, right? Since Microsoft is the second, third biggest stock in the market, the S&P is going to continue to melt up. The S&P will melt up because you have Microsoft and Apple, right? And these are big boats. These are big boats. So when they move the market. Is this Apple? Yeah. When they move the market. They're not easy to really short. And, a lot of refresh here for the new iPhone. I'm probably going to get a new iPhone. I mean, everybody up on their stocks are going to buy a new iPhone, right? We'll see. It's not as simple as that. But I think when you see Microsoft and Apple start to lift, very good sign for the overall market. And we were talking about AMD. Now, here's another one, right? I'm waiting for AMD. I want to see the strength coming off of 140. Hopefully we get it this week. We'll see. I have a contract out. This is not financial advice, but I have a long contract for April. You got to give it time. And I want to see if it's a 175 call April. I want to see if it can get to 175 in the next couple months. If it doesn't, then I'll go ahead and, scratch that trade. But I'm looking at AMD 175 April. Now, this is a cybersecurity. One of the themes right now that's hot is software, right? All the chips, all the momentum in chips has moved over to software. So Centennial One is one of those. Shout out to Bunky Jones. He pointed this out. A gigantic reverse head and shoulders. Now, it's not ready yet. Okay. It's not ready yet. It needs time to get to the top of this range, and we want to see how it actually reacts at the top of this range. So it's not ready yet, but keep your eye on Centennial One. It's a cybersecurity play, and a lot of the cybersecurity plays are already starting to move. For example, you have CrowdStrike, okay, which has been moving since they had the incident, but you can see CrowdStrike is starting to get above that last trend. So the buyers are really starting to rush in here, or maybe not. Maybe it's just in the trend. Buyers are starting to rush in. Cybersecurity play. Also got Zscaler, ZS, starting to recover. I think this actually looks better. Let's go to the weekly. I don't like that daily chart. Okay, you have Zscaler also with the, it's a little cup and handle right there. You got the big cup, you got the small handle. So Zscaler can really break out. We're above that midpoint on the weekly RSI, so there's a lot of room for upside there. But anyways, back up to here. We also have copper. I'm keeping my eye on this copper play. I don't think it's ready yet. I'm just keeping my eye on it. These are setting up. These stocks are starting to develop. We talked about ELF. ELF has a lot of momentum heading into. This is one I'm really, I'm really confident that it blows up. At least to 150. I'm going to say 150 for ELF. You see the RSI momentum picking up from the lows. They try to short it by saying, they're losing exports. There's a whole bunch of drama, but ELF is back. And I think it's going to retrace. Okay. You need to, I would say you just got to hold like 120 on ELF. It can bounce around there for a while, but I'd be looking out to maybe February, March to see if it can get to that 150 level. It could do it quick in like a week. We don't know. Or else, what else we got here? Did I miss something? I don't think so. All right, so we got ELF there. Next, we have UniPath, okay? Our UiPath, my bad. And they just reported. This one is breaking out of a range. This is why I like it. Look at this momentum. We got a lot of momentum breaking out of a range, but I just got to update it selling off in after hours. I think, let's see what it looks like. I think it's at 4 down to 14. Here we go. Yeah, it's down to 14. Let's get rid of that. So this is this is a nice little setup here. We definitely want to hold 14 though. We got to hold 14, and I think it can move because this is part of the Kathy Wood trade, which I think is going to start heating up with Tesla and Bitcoin moving higher. Those stocks are related to the index, and Unipath, or not Unipath, what is it? Is it UiPath? UiPath is within the ARK index, which is going to receive a lot of tailwinds from Bitcoin and Tesla going up, right? Unless there's really bad systemic issues, it should have a tailwind, especially with the Fed cutting rates and the AI narrative. This is a software play. So this is part of software, and a lot of people aren't looking at it. So I like UiPath also. We'll see if it holds that 14. Okay, Roku. This is my favorite one. All right, this is my favorite one right now. Roku, there's Roku's supposed to get bought out pretty soon by Trade Desk, I believe. And if they buy him out, and I don't know how that's going to be structured, but either way, Roku has let's look at the long term for Roku. They have a big user base. I'm not saying Roku's going back to all-time highs at 400, but if we do break out of this pattern, I think we can move to 150 by the summertime. I'm looking pretty far out. By the summertime, 150. And, there's a lot of potential on the way there. But you can see this reverse head and shoulders are really just this gigantic cup, right? Cup and handle starting to form. So is it ready yet? No, it's in development phase, right? And the RSI is pointing up. So I think we can blow through this cup and handle and really get vertical. And price action is starting to move up. So I like Roku because it has ARK behind it. You have Trade Desk trying to buy this out. I believe it's Trade Desk. So just keep your eye on Roku for a nice little swing trade as Bitcoin and Tesla continue to move up. What did I call it? I forgot what I called it, but it's a certain type of play. What did I call it? I can't remember. Whatever. Either way, it's attached to the ARK stuff. So I think that goes up. Zscaler, we just talked about, right? DKNG, also part of the ARK fund. And this thing is stair-stepping higher. It's in a nice little trend, starting to break above 44. This one looks good. I don't really like trading it. I don't like DKNG, DraftKings, but it is breaking this 44. I think the 44 level is what we got to look at. What does the guy say? Jalen Hernandez, what up? You got I bought KO equity when it hit 61, planning holding for a while. Prices peach 8. Oh, okay. Throw in your tickers if you want. You could throw in those tickers. I'll do a little bit of, what are these cryptos? I'll do a little bit if you throw your tickers in there, but I'm just going through some of the ones I'm looking at. All right, so we got DKNG there. Also CEG, right? This is going to be huge. Once big tech breaks out, this is this one in Vistra, some of the hottest utility stocks. Data centers are going up like crazy. This is a play on data centers. And they did get rejected from Amazon trying to build a nuclear plant, I believe, in New Jersey. But with the deregulation, I think the market's going to pick up on this and start moving back up. We need renewable energy. We need more energy sources for these data centers for AI, right? That's the big input. So keep your eye on CEG. And when it rips, it really starts to rip. I think the market cap's like 70 billion. Ripped about what, 50% in about a month. It ripped about 50%. So keep your eye on this one. Vistra is the other one. Vistra, I think it's VST. But I don't like the technicals. It's up way too much. It's vertical. This is one of the best performing stocks in the market at some time. But Vistra, I think it could fall here, right? Maybe it keeps going up, but it's up too much for me. And I see a lot of bearish divergence. I like CEG a little better when it comes to data center plays. And there's some other data center stuff out there. I know they're a little hot, so I'm not ready for those yet. Obviously Ethereum set to break out. Okay, Ethereum looks good. I mean, out of all the cryptos, you guys know me, I'm a big Chainlink holder. I like Chainlink. Bitcoin's already breaking out, but Ethereum will play catch up. Okay, Ethereum's going to play catch up here. Let's see where we could move to really quick. Let's do this. You see that RSI starting to point straight up. So Ethereum can probably move to about, let's say 6,000. I think it can double. It's not going to be a double. It's going to be like a 50% move to 6,000 pretty soon. I'm going to say by the end of the year, we get somewhere around 5 to 6K in Ethereum. It is starting to rocket higher. It will catch up. This is the second biggest crypto. They're going to rotate into Ethereum. All right, so I like Ethereum there. Just need to get above what, 3,900, 4,000. And then we're off to the races. Another cybersecurity, Okta. All right, I like this one. You get the RSI moving up. This is the weekly chart, by the way. We're looking at weekly charts, bigger time frames. I'm not doing day trading here, right? That's a little, you can't really go over day trades. Like that's a lot more thinking. It's a lot tougher. Takes a lot more technical knowledge, execution knowledge. These are a little easier. Okay. So we also have another, Okta, another cybersecurity. Look, cybersecurity and software catching a bid, period. So you got to keep your eye out. This thing is bottoming out. You got a clear bottoming pattern right here. Okay. Maybe it took a month or two and then boom, broke out. What up, your residents? How's it going on your ebook? One of them's ready right now. Message me. You want the technical analysis one though, right? I'm working on that one. I got a beginner course out right now. I'll show you really quick. This is for macro though. It's a beginner course for macro. See if I can find it. Well, it's in the description for YouTube and it's on, here we go. All right, so here you go. Your resonance, that one's ready. At the moment, message me if you want a discount link. All right, give you that 50% discount if you want that today. This is a beginner macro course. That's for beginners to basically, you want to know how the market works, not just, oh, I just saw a stock and I bought it, but it's for beginner macro, understanding the fundamentals and the advanced macros coming out also. Asset allocation, the seasons of strength, inflation, central banks, how all that stuff works. So check that out if you're interested. I'm not going to promote it yet. I want to make sure we're waiting on a couple things, but yeah, that one is out, your resonance, if you want to check that out. YouTube, you guys just tell you it's in the description if you want to check out that. But yeah, the technical analysis course is also coming. It is coming. It's not done yet, but the technical analysis is also coming out. Nice to see you guys. All right, so we got, oh, this one looks good though. Cloudflare. This is another cybersecurity play. This has a lot of momentum. It looks really good. You can see that. I mean, I love this price action. Really good price action. I mean, it's really just curling up, ready to explode. And, I don't know what the market cap is, but it is ticker symbol NET, like a net. Looks really good. If we draw from the peak, right, to that most recent high, it is actually breaking out. And it just looks like a big wedge, but it is starting to break out. So I would pay attention to this one for sure. Net. It can quickly, if software continues to catch a bid, this one can quickly move back to all-time highs, a lot like Team did. If you look at Team, this is another software play, right? This thing just rocketed higher, ridiculous amounts of volume because, big fund managers are rotating away from semiconductors or one part of the AI play. They're moving into software now because if the economy slows down, if there's a trade war, well, semiconductors get hit on a trade war. Software does not, right? Software is on the internet. You're not going to get hit with these software plays. It's less risky and it's time to rotate. That's what they're doing. So this thing jumped 68% from September. And it was really once we had the election, it started to blow up. Actually, it started before the election. Nice little breakout there. So Team took off. Now, I don't have this on the watch list because it's overheating right now. I think it's just up too much. I want to see consolidation. I want to see a pullback. So I'm not interested in this one, but maybe you get some consolidation around these levels, right? And then you can think about going long Team. Also, Twilio did the same thing. and that's down here. I think it's right here with Team Twilio. Yeah, Twilio, same thing. Another software play, AI software. This is AI software exploded. I mean, I missed that breakout, but that thing broke out of that long range. And this is also part of Kathy Wood's play. So I think ARK is going to really start ARKK, right? Really start breaking out. And I'm looking at this is the ETF, but I'm looking at the individual stocks who have solid fundamentals and who can benefit from this. Obviously, Tesla is already up. Tesla might be at all-time highs before the end of the year. That's what it's starting to look like. What up, Isaac? How you doing, Isaac? Appreciate it. All right, so what else we got here? What do you think about wait, what? That's not a stock. Is that a stock? Jasmine? I don't know what that is. I don't think that's a stock or a crypto. I'm not sure what that is. CRM just broke out also. Actually, we're not there yet. Let's go to, so we went through these. Okay, Zoom is also one of those Kathy Wood cash up trades. It's a little overheated at the moment. I want to see it consolidate a little more. It'd be nice if it bounced around a little bit. Okay, I want to see that support, right? Maybe it does this. And as it consolidates, this RSI should come down to the midpoint, right? Should come down to the midpoint and start to turn up. They have a really good balance sheet and they have a lot of users. They survived. I mean, I'm not saying again it's going to all-time highs. This was during the pandemic when, there's a huge demographic shift to online. Now you have Microsoft Teams and they're competing with other people. Either way, the stock can really move. It's a small market cap. It's like in the teens of billions. So what, mid cap? It's a mid cap. These things can really fly, like Twilio, right? It's another software play. So I like Zoom. I'm watching Zoom at the moment. Coin is breaking out at the moment, right? And it's taking some time, but eventually it's going to explode, just like Mara. So you got Coin, you got Mara doing the same thing. The options are expensive though. It's pricing in a Bitcoin move. So, I mean, this is a huge wedge pattern. So when that thing starts to catch momentum, it's gonna go. I like Square. We also have Square breaking out of the range. Now this is a nice little breakout. Okay, and I think it can hold this RSI. You can see in the past when Square broke out before. Yes, it gets overbought, but when animal spirits are hot, meaning everybody wants to own the growth stocks, right? Risk on. Animal spirits are risk on. It is not, buying McDonald's, buying Walmart. It is buying more riskier assets that are sensitive to long-term interest rates. And you can see the RSI can be overheated for a long time and they just go straight up. And we might be at that macro moment where the Fed is cutting, where liquidity is coming into the system. You're getting, we want to get the confirmation on tax cuts, corporate tax cuts. What exactly are they going to look like? And you can see, and then this also has a tailwind from Bitcoin, right? Cash App. A lot of people use Cash App. And so this one also looks like PayPal, right? That might be another one, PayPal and Cash App. But this one looks good. So Square, SQ, is breaking. This is a nice breakout of a range. So if it consolidates a little, it might just go. You put your stop at that previous low. I'd have a stop under 88. Yeah, under 88, somewhere around 88. But it is breaking that consolidation. So that one looks good. All right. So what else we got here? We got Meta. We kind of looked at Meta. I don't really like looking at the mega caps as much, but Meta has been holding. Meta has a springboard here. This thing can really run and it's going to bring up the index. It's definitely going to bring up the index. So Meta looks good. I mean, it is purely breaking out of this previous range. If you would have got in on this candlestick where it just reversed, little reversal stick, boom, it should have been around 570. I missed that one, but I have it on the watch list in case it comes back down. All right, what else we got here? Why can't I breathe? SBH. And we have Chainlink. Very strong fundamentals. I think it has the strongest fundamental. Solana is a gambling blockchain. Yeah, Solana and don't get your feelings hurt if you're a crypto guy. Solana has a lot of good stuff. It's fast, but right now it's running off gambling and maybe it continues. Chainlink is actually connecting, private blockchains. The whole real world asset conversion of the current financial system needs something to connect. And look at this cup and handle. I mean, I think Chainlink is going to rip to 33 or 40 pretty quickly if Bitcoin can hold 100. If Bitcoin holds 100, Chainlink rips. A lot of coins are ripping, but for this is probably the only one other than Ethereum that I have confidence that it's going to be used in the actual economy, right? The major economy. Let's see. Miss something. Avgo. Okay. Semiconductors, I'll look at Avgo, but semiconductors, they look like maybe they're getting better. Maybe they look a little better here. They might be recovering. I think they're recovering. If we look at SMH, we can see a small recovery happening. So semis might look good. The only risk with semiconductors at the moment is uh, we don't know how tariffs are going to play out. And I think that's what investors are looking for. Okay, are we going to get, because China already banned exports of certain metals into the US. So is it a full out trade war? Not yet, but it could escalate. And I think chips are at risk. Yeah, I think chips are definitely at risk here. So it looks good. I mean, it looks okay. It looks okay. Let me see where the RSI is at. It's pretty much gaining some momentum. I mean, it depends how you want to do it. But once you get above that 185 for Broadcom, then yeah, it takes off. And this is a large market cap. So I'm not sure the weakness is done yet. I think it continues to consolidate between 185 and 160, maybe more consolidation until we get more clarity on the tariffs. That's my initial thought. Do you feel like XRP will be used for major economy? No, I don't think so. I think XRP is going to be another pump and dump. I mean, I hope it goes up. I really hope people make money in XRP, but I got to be honest about crypto. It is a wild west, and there's a huge crowd of XRP lovers. So I think XRP continues to go higher, but I don't think it has a real world use case the way that Chainlink and Ethereum do. Right? I mean, that's a monster move. Hey, congratulations if you got that. I didn't even think it was going to break out. But as soon as you had Gary Gensler fired and you had the SEC switch, what is that, 480%? Once you had Gary Gensler fired and the lawsuit was dropped, I mean, now it's starting to break out. And this is a huge flag pattern. That thing is humongous. What do I have all this for? Oh, okay. We were talking about this last time. Let me erase all this. So on a technical basis, XRP looks absolutely beautiful. I will say, on a technical basis, it looks absolutely beautiful. It is breaking out. And remember, it's $100 billion market cap, so it's not going to go off. It's not going to just keep going up without a real catalyst. No problem. DWIL. I'm glad. I hope I bring value. I don't like XRP though. I just don't, because this is a win all scenario, right? During the bull markets, it goes up. I think it's up a lot now. Like if you had XRP during this consolidation, great. I've been wrong about it. I didn't think it was going to break out this way. It looks really good. The price action looks beautiful, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think XRP is being used by central banks or by depositories or clearinghouses the way that Chainlink is being used. This is a single blockchain. So if you believe in XRP, you've got to believe that central banks or big banks, right, commercial banks, are going to be using the ledger. And the truth is, if we want to get down to the truth is these banks are creating their own ledgers. They're not using blockchains necessarily to transact with each other. Sorry, I got something in my throat. So that's what I got to say about XRP. I'm not going to trash it. I hope it goes up a lot. I don't believe in it as much, though. I'd stick with Ethereum and Bitcoin. There's a lot of hype. But I hope if you do have it, I hope it goes up. All right, what else we got here? Man, people just see green candles and they want to see what's going on here. I don't like XRP. I like Chainlink though. I do like Chainlink. It's up a lot. If you guys were here, at the beginning of the year or last year, we were like, hey, this Chainlink dropped out at $5. Buy it. It's up what, 396. So XRP is outperforming, but the use case for this is just ridiculous. Look, you can't really go to another website and find another financial institution actually not promoting, but actually saying, hey, we're using this technology literally, right? Swift, go to their website. They're actually using Chainlink. Go to DTCC, which is the clearinghouse for the Federal Reserve for the United States for all transactions of all equities. The DTC is using Chainlink. ANZ, right? A bank in Australia, or there's a bunch of actual financial institutions that are literally using Chainlink. And all these coins go up. Pepe coin, they go up, but do they have a real use case? What problem are they actually solving in the real world, right? Chainlink is solving zero settlement, which is it takes 2 days to settle your money. Why? Because you have to go through all these custodians, XYZ. Well, now they're down to T+1, which is 1 day. Chainlink brings zero settlement. It settles in real time at a cheaper cost. And it's really, obviously it's really techy to understand, but it is the monopoly in crypto. All of crypto uses Chainlink price feeds just to connect. And I believe the future is the financial system is moving to the blockchain, right? And you can look at BlackRock. They're saying the same thing. BlackRock is literally saying, hey, look, the future is tokenization of all assets. Well, how do you tokenize all assets? Well, you need a system, a unified system that allows you to move those actual assets from blockchain to blockchain. And that's what Chainlink already does. And nobody's even competing with them. Not Pith, none of those other networks. Chainlink isn't getting hacked. Their systems suck. So I'm a long-term believer in Chainlink for now, right? Other than obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I'm not trying to promote Chainlink. I mean, if you were gonna buy it, you should have been down here. I told so many people, buy it, get in early, look at the evidence. But of course, people are scared, they're not sure. I just try to be as honest as I can, which is this and has real use case. Just like I was with Palantir. I told you guys in 2022, Palantir might be getting crushed, but this is the #1 AI software in the world. And from $6, it's up 10x. Right, it's up 10x. So, and I think Chainlink can do even more than that. Not from here, but from where it was. So I'm waiting for Palantir to pull back, right, to get the long-term buy. And next momentum, right? So we went through a lot of those. We could talk more about Boyle. You want to look at Boyle? We could talk a lot more about other cryptos, but I just wanted to look. Tesla is heating up right now. It is overheating, but you guys know Tesla, once it gets above the RSI, if it has a catalyst, what is a catalyst? Trump. Okay, the Trump trade. ARK is going up. They hold Bitcoin. As long as Bitcoin continues to go up, that creates another tailwind for Tesla, and you get more deregulation for Tesla. Don't go chasing it. I mean, it would be amazing to have Tesla break back down into this trend, right? Get some trend support and then move up. I'm just not sure that we're going to see that. If it does, even better. And you would want to see that RSI reset to the midpoint. That'd be really good. All right, we'll just do some of your guys' trades. I think I went through my favorite one. Just FYI, before we get through it, here's some of the software plays I was talking about. Okay, IBM trending higher. Datadog exploding higher software. Twilio exploding higher software. Robinhood needs to cool off. Okay, it's a little up. It's up too much. But a lot of software is up. And we'll go ahead and look at some of your stuff here. FTM. I'm going to do this one on TikTok first. FTM. Man, I can't breathe. What is this? A penny stock? Goodness sake. I really don't like to do. There is no technical analysis on this. If this is it right here, FTM, there's nothing to look at here. This is I can already tell high risk. There's no volume. Super high risk can go to 0. This is a gamble. I'm not going to evaluate gamble stocks or gamble, whatever it is, just to keep it 100%. Not doing gambling. No meme coins. Nah, that's not my style. Not meme coins. You can lose a lot of money. You can get lucky, but we're talking about real value here. H bar is a good one, even though I don't even know what they do, but I know H bar is dang, this thing is exploding. We're just looking at the market caps at 12 billion. H bar can go to, probably go to 20, 30 billion. Who knows? Um, but I think it needs to also cool off a bit. Yeah, you can see that RSI is up big. So H bar exploding. If this is the peak, let's say H bar does peak. If that peaks, you're probably looking at a pullback to about, oh, this is not the price. Hold on. All right. So if this is the peak, you might get a pullback on H bar to about 18 cents. I got up to 38 cents. So not financial advice, but this might be a good entry if you believe in it. All right, this might be a good entry. Go on YouTube if you want to see the chart. I can't really show the whole chart on the vertical. Okay, Boyle. Let's look at Boyle real quick. Nat gas. Oops, Boyle. I mean, this is, you got to get lucky on this one. I don't really like to evaluate downtrends because they're specialty trades, right? You kind of have to know some information, do your research. You got to know the seasonals. When does it come up? There's nothing to really look at though here. There's a little bit of bullish divergence, but you have that back here. Look at bullish divergence, stock or asset security, right? Not even call it a stock, it's a security because it's not a company necessarily. It's a instrument. Bullish divergence, and then it just broke down, made a new low. So I don't really like looking at these because you do have to get lucky. I mean, the trend is not your friend. The trend is going to crush you. So I'm not a real fan of these mean reversion plays in downtrends. They just go down a lot. I know everybody's chasing it too. Here's the issue with these natural gas plays. Dang, I cannot breathe in here. I don't know what's going on. Here's the problem with the natural gas plays. They're all dependent on demand and supply and demand, right? Now, the issue with supply and demand, unlike Bitcoin, where there's less demand, it's capped. The US needs more natural gas. So they pump more natural gas, they increase it. They have an incentive to create more, not less. Therefore, the supply of nat gas, it just continues to grow faster than the demand. So price continues to fall. This might get lucky if you have a couple nat gas producers blow up. So what are you going to do? Blow up their, go blow up their tanks or whatever. That's why oil or energy stocks usually surge during war, because oil tankers are getting blown up, blah, blah, blah. Point here, I don't really like it. The fundamentals are crap to me because there's more supply being created than there is actual demand. There's other energy sources, and there's not really a technical, they don't really even go on technicals. You kind of have to get lucky. You can probably buy a little bit here and there and hope for a pop. But other than that, it's not really sustainable in my view. All right, what else we got? Go ahead, throw your tickers out there. Until you do, I'm gonna go look at another one. Oh, PayPal. I do like PayPal. There's some cheap options on PayPal. Okay, this is gonna benefit from the crypto. Now, this is overheating a lot. I know it's overheating. I want to see a pullback to this level. 75 is the golden level for me, where you saw that last volume come in, right? 75, that'd be nice. If we come back down to 75, get a nice little correction. This also benefits from Bitcoin because they Venmo and all that, they do Bitcoin transactions. So a lot of upside for PayPal. Okay, what else we got? PayPal. Okay, we got Apple breaking out. I think I went through most of it. Yeah, I think I went through most of it. I'll let you guys throw out some tickers if you want, and we can do some TA on some tickers. But yeah, until then, interest rates are pretty stable. Okay, I'm going to do a review unless I get something. Interest rates are good, liquidity solid, growth is stable, inflation is falling, and we're going to get more inflation later. What the heck is that? Big Rob. Oh man, we got some bots. Inflation is stable, stabilizing, and we're going to get that report later. So we'll see. Sentiment is bullish in the market, but not really. Not really. I think over the next couple of weeks, we're really going to see sentiment get very bullish, and then we should see a ASTS, and then we should see a correction. All right. Hey, this one's almost reset. ASTS communications. So this is better. I like this one because it has a theme. Communication services are in high demand. I don't know exactly what they do, how they're different than the marketplace, but the RSI is starting to reset here. Nice little. I mean, that was a big move. That was a monster move. Who caught that? This thing was basically a penny stock, 10x'd. Okay, it did a 10x, and everybody's waiting for it to do another 10x. The issue is, what is the? Let me see what the market cap here is. Yeah, I don't know if it does another 10x like that. But I'm always these patterns are just red flags for me. These are red flag patterns. You got to know more about it. It's hard to trust. You got to keep up with it. See if I can find it. Oh, Space Mobile. Okay, that's what they do. Space Mobile. We'll see. They could benefit from deregulation. They could definitely benefit from deregulation. 6.5 billion market cap. So this was in the millions before it exploded 10x. Okay. They need deregulation. But the RSI is almost reset. I would say, let me see, what does it look like on the daily? I think these need to really dump. You really need to see these dump before they're ready to go. A lot of accumulation, though, around 21. So, yeah, maybe 20, 21, 2150. I would say maybe right here, 21. Yeah, 21 seems to be the level, 21 to 2150. Looks like we got Chainlink dumping in real time. Okay. In the after hours. We'll take a look at crypto right now. Yeah, let's take a look at crypto. Let's see what we got here. Oh, dang, Bitcoin is selling off. Okay. Okay, Bitcoin. I'll show you the price I got on Bitcoin also. All right, we'll go over where the Fibonacci tells us we should pull back to. All right, crypto watch list. Here we go. All right, let's take this off. Let's go to the 15-minute chart real quick. Okay, nice little dump on Bitcoin. All right. We got down to 91,000. So crypto is dumping. Here we go. What is the catalyst? Well, is it macro? Tomorrow is the employment report. So is crypto worried about employment? The only way it'd be worried is if employment came out too strong and the Fed had to hike rates. I'm sorry. Yeah, not hike rates. I'm sorry. Hold rates and not cut. So you got Bitcoin down. Looks like the shorts really held it there. What are we down? What percent is this? 10%? Okay. We could get down to 87. That's my guess on Bitcoin. 87. Here's how you use that tool. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Fibonacci, click it. I'm gonna go from the breakout point where the volume came in, and I'm gonna go up to the highest point, 104. Let's turn that volume on so we can see. You can see the biggest volume candle on the daily chart right here. So I'm pulling from this candle, and the golden pocket is around 82,000. So that is from the recent volume momentum. But if we pull it, so this is probably the lowest level it goes, 81,000. I don't know about that. I could be wrong. I think we'd need a very bad catalyst. Now, if we go from the recent low, the actual low, which was 50K, about 50K, then that Fibonacci brings us down to 70K. Ooh, nasty correction. That would be a nasty correction. Okay. So we are looking at, I thought I had it at 87. I think that was back here though. All right, 82,000. 82,000. What was the breakout? Let me see what the breakout point was. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I think we're going to pull back to, I'm going to say 85K. If we really break, I think we're going about 85,000. Where's Ethereum at? Ethereum had a nice run. Now it's pulling back. Okay. Ethereum definitely not as bad. We might just be getting a rotation. We might as well just look at where's XRP. Yeah, XRP starting to correct. But XRP's been correcting for a minute. Solana correcting a little bit. Binance, ADA, is anybody running up? I don't think anything is. AVAX, Polkadot doesn't look bad. Let's see. We want to see Bitcoin dominance, how that's pulling. Okay, Bitcoin dominance is tanking. So this might be a rotation into alts. Yeah, we might be just seeing a rotation into the altcoins. Let me turn this up. There we go. Bitcoin dominance, or another way to look at it is the total crypto market versus Bitcoin. It's just the inverse. Okay. And you can see since November, we sort of bottomed, but I think it was late November where altcoins had the biggest surge against Bitcoin. So you have, Bitcoiners, whoever it is, rotating into altcoins. And you have the biggest rallies here. So it looks like, it looks like Bitcoin, it looks like we might be getting a rotation. Looks like we're just getting a rotation in altcoins more than anything. We'll see. Where's Link at? Link, I mean, obviously they're not pumping yet. But if crypto's falling and you see Bitcoin dominance going up, then there's a rotation into Bitcoin. And usually that's a safety play. So when people when crypto sells off and Bitcoin dominance actually goes up, which means this goes down, they're running for safety. Right now, we're not running for safety. Right now, they're running into risk. They're running into risk. Maybe there's some other catalyst. Let me check on Twitter. There might be another catalyst, but it looks like this could be a rotation. Who is saying this crap? United States of America to remove all taxes on XRP and crypto as it partners with Ripple. What is this? Yo, there's so much bull crap out there. All taxes on XRP. Please do not fall for that. These guys are trying to pump XRP so bad. That's insane. I had to call some people out because they were scamming. I'm sorry, I missed your comment. I don't know what you said. How low will XRP drop back down to? Well, we can do some fibs on XRP. Even though I'm not a fan of XRP, I'm over here doing fibs on it. Let's see. We can do two. We'll go from the low where it exploded, and that gives us 138. Ooh, that's a nasty drop. That's a nasty drop. 138. What is that? 37% drop? Yeah, that's about what. So that would be that. But if we go from, let's see where the volume really started to come in. I guess it not that much different. I'm gonna say 175 to 150. 175 to 150 is probably where XRP starts to pull back because it had a monster rally. That wasn't no, that wasn't no that wasn't no childish breakout. It was a nasty breakout. So crypto is volatile. So XRP looks like it's going there. Let me see. Where can Chainlink drop to? See, is Chainlink strengthening? Okay. We got Chainlink strengthening against XRP. There we go. Link ETH. Okay, Ethereum is strengthening against Link. Let's go ETH BTC. Yeah, I think Ethereum, there might be a rotation into Ethereum and alts. Because Bitcoin is weakening, Ethereum is strengthening versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is down. Okay. All right, let's see where Link's at. Now let's do some TA on Link. All right. This is my favorite coin. What do we got here? Man, there's a lot of crypto scammers. That's why crypto's so nasty. Oh, you said run the fib against the market cap, not the price. Okay, I thought people would want to know the price. Do people look at market cap? What does rotating mean? In crypto, there's big rotations. There's big rotations in crypto. So like Bitcoin is the tide that lifts all boats, right? So you need Bitcoin to move higher. But when Bitcoiners, not maxis, but people holding a lot of Bitcoin, what they'll do is they'll rotate. Bitcoin's a $2 trillion market cap at 100K. So they'll rotate small percentages of their Bitcoin that might be up 200% and pump an altcoin, which can go up 1,000%. So they'll start to rotate, and all you do is look at Bitcoin dominance. And if it's falling, BTC dominance, if it's falling and crypto is still going up, that means they're rotating into altcoins for the most part. It's just Bitcoin's market cap versus the alts. The altcoin market cap is going up against Bitcoin, and I have it without Ethereum. I don't like putting Ethereum in there because Ethereum to me is not an altcoin. So this is total crypto minus Bitcoin and Ethereum right here. Minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if I see that little bid, it's telling me, okay, we pulled back, but alts are actually not pumping, but strong versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So he wanted to see XRP market cap. We can do that real quick. I don't understand the difference. What is the difference? Because like who looks at market cap to buy? I don't know if anybody actually does that. Maybe they do. 80 billion. So it looks like we could come from 160 down to about 80 billion. That'd be a 50% retracement. Maybe 90 billion. Yeah, we'll see. That's where you want to see market cap. Okay. I mean, that's humongous. 150 billion XRP market cap. And who's adopting XRP? Please, no one. No one is. Well, there is some financial institutions using it, but I mean, not worth 150 billion. This thing is bigger than Palantir. You got to be kidding me. So yeah, it'll cool off. We'll see. I don't know where it goes, but it'll cool off eventually. Oh, the graph is pumping. Yep, alts are pumping. So this is the graph. It's an index protocol like Google. They index data on blockchains. I'm not a computer engineer, so I can't go into details, but the graph basically allows you to create blockchain systems like Amazon AWS without going from scratch. Maybe I explained that right, maybe I didn't. But the graph is the Google, it's the indexer of data. So it is a rotation in altcoins. All I had to do is just find which coins are pumping. So we're getting Ethereum strong, Bitcoin down, some of the altcoins down. This is the altcoin rotation. I think we're in alt season. No, we are in alt season. So you got the graph pumping right now. Let's see if Aave is pumping. This is decentralized lending and borrowing. Mark Cuban. Oh, dang, this is an old one. Mark Cuban basically was buying this a long time ago. And I used to own it. I remember trading it in the last cycle to like 600. I think it went to 695 from like 100. It was insane. But that's when the Fed printed $5 trillion. So we're not getting that right now. So yeah, we got Aave moving up. Synthetics, they kind of fell apart. Is it pumping? I guess it is. Synthetics is moving a little bit. Actually, let's go to the 30-minute. This is probably too far back. You can see Uniswap, Mana. Not a fan of that anymore. I just like to watch it. Dogecoin pulling back. The graph pulling back a little bit. That's not a big pullback. Shiba. Not a fan of Shiba. So yeah, it looks like altcoins are pumping. What's up with XRP down? I mean, XRP is up way too much for one. Every asset goes up and down. It does not. How low will GRT correct to? The graph? I mean, shoot, if I could tell that, I'd be the best trader of all time. I can't tell how far, but we can. I think the graph is now back into the uptrend. If we just take a step back, you can see that trend, right? The graph is now back into the uptrend. It would have been better if you caught it down here, obviously, but you know, it's a lot of times they will break out of the trend and make a new trend. I'm not going to get hyped up and say it's going that high, but you know, and I've got wrecked on this. I started buying this at $1. I thought this was the pullback in the last cycle. I was like, oh yeah, that's ready. Look at that bottoming pattern. I started buying it like right here. I thought it was breaking out. Bought more, all the way down. So you got to be careful. And I'm not even breaking even yet. So just didn't know what I was doing. Trading coins, ignoring market cap. Yeah, that's not smart. Make sure you know what the market cap is. Once the market cap gets to the tens of billions, it's, you know, it's getting a little riskier unless it has an actual use case. A lot of these do have no use case. They have no use case. Jams. I don't know what Jamsies is. No clue. Jamsy? Oh, this is some crazy coin, man. What the heck is this? Market cap 2.6 billion. I mean, it looks good technically. It's pumping. Whatever this is, it's pumping. Yeah, it looks like a rotation in shit coins, honestly. That's what I think. We're getting a rotation into shit coins. That's what's happening. AMP. Let's see where the target is, the fib target. 6 cents, maybe like 10 cents. And I'm not a fan of these, by the way. I do not mess with these things. I'm not messing with these. I'm just looking at them. Looks like we're getting a rotation. BTC support now since it lost the buy zone at 100. Can we look at Bitcoin? Yeah, we can look at Bitcoin. I would say for Bitcoin, it's going to be like 85K, 85 to 87 for Bitcoin. That would be my estimation based on that fib from the volume bar from that last volume, right? We can also use anchored VWAP on the daily chart. Oh, look, it's coming right into anchor VWAP. How beautiful is that? So maybe the low is 90,000 then. 90,000. I'm going to say something. And crypto usually overcorrects to the downside. No, I don't use Bookmap. I don't use Bookmap. I know it's good. I just don't use it. Yeah, I think 90. I'm thinking 90 to 87, right? Unless rates start to surge tomorrow and the dollar surges, it could go lower. If this is the start of the first correction, then we're looking at a 25% drop from 103, probably down to about 78, 78, 79. The drops are nasty. If this is it, I don't think it's it though. I don't know. I think we're a little early for correction. I could be wrong though, because my first guess was we moved to about 105. Um, but I didn't think we'd move to 105 till end of the year. So this was a quick move. A lot of shorts at 100. You never know. You just don't know. You just don't know. Potential support 90,000. That's all I'll say. AMP. AMP. Man, these are a bunch of crazy coins. No wonder the SEC wants to ban. Uh is this a stock? Oh, this is actually not. Oh, AMP is not a crypto. Okay. Let's see. AMP. Let's go to the weekly chart. This must be an investment. Who buys this? No, I'm just kidding. This is some bank. It looks like momentum's running out, but this isn't a strong uptrend. I don't know what they do exactly. But let's throw on this weekly chart. I mean, moving average. If it pulls back AMP, you're probably looking at 485, somewhere around 485, possibly 450, 450 to 485 for AMP. Kando 88, I see you. Palm AI, what the heck what is the ticker? I don't know what Palm AI is. Oh, Arweave? Wait a minute. Is this guy saying Arweave? Arweave is actually a very interesting project. Final data, that's probably one of the best. I don't want to say it's a good project, but one of the most interesting. Oh, this isn't it. Arweave is final storage, I think. What is it? Final storage? Basically, you pay a fee to store your data one time and it stores it forever. It's crazy. I don't know if it's possible. We'll see. But that is going to be Arweave. The sell volume didn't seem as much as it was previous top. Yeah, that I don't know. I think it's early. We'll see. We'll see what it we'll see where we're at. But if it does correct, if we do correct, it's gonna be nasty. 25%. Last time we broke what 20,000, we went to 42,000, we doubled. And right now we're not even doubled yet. We'd have to go to like 140 to double or 120 to double. And then we corrected all the way down to 26,000, I believe, in the last. Not to say that's like how you predict it, but yeah, we went to no, it was right here. I guess we didn't correct that. How far? I went to 42 and then we corrected really quick down to 28,000. So we did like a 33% correction in the last cycle, just to give you some context. This is about a 33% correction. That's if we hit the top. I don't know if we hit the top yet for this cycle. Because look, we still have Fed cutting rates, right? That's going to be positive. We still have the Fed cutting rates. There's definitely a battle in the 90s. We're definitely looking at a battle. XRP. Well, XRP is up too much. A lot of these coins are just up too much. MOG, big runner. What the heck is MOG? Bruh. Magate's metals. This right here, MOG. I mean, there's nothing really to look at here. But hey, I hope you make money. XO OXO what? OXO? Is that a ticker? Yeah, I looked at Jasmine. What is that? Why is everybody like that? Jasmine. Don't get scammed, man. I don't know what this is. I think it's pumping though, whatever it is. Yeah, so whatever how do you say this? Jasmine? I'm just gonna call it Jasmine. Jasmine looks like it wants to pump to at least I always like to go between the blue and the red. I'm not gonna say the numbers is annoying. But at least conservatively for crypto, we're looking at 8 cents, somewhere around 8 cents. Yeah, somewhere around 8 cents. I mean, I don't know how much firepower this thing has, depends on the market cap. If it's a small market cap, it can do a lot bigger, but this is not a recommendation. It'd be better. This is the last time I'm doing this coin. It'd be better if it comes back here to what is this? 4.5 cents. Man, those things are tiny. It'd be better if it has a little consolidation and then you see support and then go up. That'll give you a chance to get in. But when it goes straight up like that, never chase. That's my thing. You don't ever chase anything. You wait for a pullback. Well, I'm definitely not an altcoin expert. I know there's altcoin experts out there. I don't even look at altcoins. I'm only looking at um utility tokens, not shit coins. So I will admit that there's some people that are experts at actual altcoins. Um, but if you're a beginner, you just want to know the fundamentals. How low will XRP? How low will it go? Oh man, man, people really like XRP. Man, that's a nasty candle on XRP. Let's go to the daily. I'm gonna say 83 billion. What is that? A dollar or no, $2.30, something like that. 2.30. Oh, a dollar. My bad. That's dollar. XRP can correct to $1.50, but if we're still in the bull cycle, that's a buy zone for a lot of people. I mean, every crypto project is gonna say they have a good use case. Just because they say there's a use case doesn't mean it's credible, right? So do your own research. I'm not interested in it at all. Good luck. Hope it makes money. There's a lot of scammers in this. There's a lot of scammers in the space. There's the most scammers, so you got to be careful. um, well, that's all I got for today. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Either way, yeah, I'm going to do some updates throughout the week on the analysis of the market. Just going to give you a quick breakdown. No, I'm not interested in XRP. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown. Okay. The bull market for crypto is still heating up. Okay. It is still heating up. This probably rips into January, probably rips into maybe February. Here we got Bitcoin. You haven't even had Ethereum rip higher yet. So let's do a little bit of history. Bitcoin's breaking out all-time highs, right? The last time Bitcoin broke out was, or what did Ethereum do? I think it took a while for Ethereum to actually break out. Ethereum didn't break to all-time highs until February 2021. So it always lags. It's always going to lag a little bit. And for Bitcoin, let's see, what was it? I don't remember. Bitcoin broke out in a lot earlier. Okay. So Bitcoin broke out in December and Ethereum, it took a month. So my guess is end of the month, we're going to see Ethereum break out to all-time highs. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know for sure, but we just know we're just heating up. And it looks like this Bitcoin sell-off that's going back and forth is pretty much a rotation into shit coins. That's what it's looking like. Everybody's saying, hey, look up this coin. It looks like a rotation into shit coins. I wouldn't get too excited. But right now, if we go to the macro, look, the market is supporting these animal spirits. The economy is still strong. Tomorrow we get the labor market report. We'll see where employment's at. Does it really make a big difference? Not really, unless it's extreme. Um, I mean, if the labor market is weak, interest rates come down. That is going to fuel more risk taking. Why? Because nobody really, I mean, not, I don't want to say nobody, but a large amount of the market is waiting for Trump to cut taxes, increase stimulus. There will be no recession unless there's a shock from the tariffs. There's not going to be a recession. The probability is very low. Let me say it that way. The probability is very low. So, crypto season continues. Nobody knows when it stops. You got to watch liquidity. Right now, it's moving without liquidity. If we look at global liquidity, okay, if we look at global liquidity, it is turning up a little bit from November, right? You're getting liquidity turn up. This is, you look at every single major country, every major nation, and the amount of money printing that they're doing, the amount of assets they're replicating. Well, we've been in a downtrend. This is mostly the Fed, though. We've been in a downtrend. As soon as this rips up, crypto gets another leg higher. Gets another leg higher. So I think we're just starting, right? I think we're just getting started here for the banana zone. I know you guys have heard of that. Just getting started for the banana zone. If we look at global net liquidity, oh, no, that is global net liquidity. Money supply growth. That's what I wanted to look at. Money supply growth. When those start to slow down, let's see, maybe it is slowing down. All right, this is actually a much better chart. Okay. So this is the year over year money supply growth impulse, which means that when it's in red, when it's down here, that means that they're not printing money, right? If you add up net all the liquidity in the world, there's a downdraft. And then when it spikes, boom, money's coming up. So this is a really good setup for crypto because it's breaking out while liquidity is actually pulling back. Okay, well, liquidity is actually pulling back. So as this starts to swing to the upside, which Europe is cutting rates, China cutting rates, the biggest economies are all cutting rates. They're all capitalizing their banking system, which means money supply is going to move higher because literally there's going to be more loans. There's going to be more assets, especially when you cut rates. You're literally printing money. It's just more complex. So this swings up, boom, gives crypto another leg. The only time I'm going to be concerned, I'll be concerned whenever, let's see, where's that money supply growth chart? Global money supply versus GDP. Let me see. If we get money supply drop versus GDP, that might be a red flag. Okay, well, here's the global money supply. Okay, that thing goes up forever. Right now, we're at 105 trillion. And we peaked back in October at 109 trillion. So as it starts to curl back up, that's going to fuel, or that's going to give you confidence that there's still more money coming into the system, and it's going to chase riskier assets, especially as interest rates are lower. So this cycle is just getting started. Whatever pullback happens in crypto, I hate to say it because I don't want to, somebody's going to lose money. It's just the beginning. We're just getting started here. All right. Well, that's all I got. Sorry, I can't even talk. I got a stuffed up nose. You guys have a blessed day though. What was I gonna say? Yeah, learn as much as you can, but do not get scammed by the people pushing coins. Be careful with that. I know there's a lot of scammers out there. Stick with your utility tokens, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Chainlink is small, but Chainlink is actually working with Swift, which is the global messaging system for central banks. They're working with DTCC, which is the clearinghouse for the US Federal Reserve. So they're actually partnering with financial institutions. Oh, and the smelling salt. I think this room is dusty. I think that's what it is. This room is dusty. I haven't streamed for a while. I don't know what it is. But anyways, you guys take it easy, stay blessed, and we'll catch you next time.